Baby Monster's debut being compared to BLACKPINK and 21? I would have never thought.
땡땡 코코투.
I never thought that this day would come, the day where Baby Monster debuts. And it's kind of messy. From the visual direction to this sound, there has been a lot of criticism. So welcome to an episode of Kpop Investigations where we take a specific subject and do a little bit of a deep dive into it. We haven't done one of these in a while. It's different from my reviews because I feel like some of you don't like my reviews anymore. You guys are here for the news and I respect that. You guys are vibing with my Kpop journalism and I can't fault you for it. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. I also just uploaded a new vlog on my second channel, so feel free to go check that out. Resources and everything will be linked below. So, starting off with one of the most major criticisms I have seen for the group's debut, Batter Up, which came out yesterday. Which, first of all, who is debuting on a Sunday at 10 a.m.? Just saying. I know it's not Sunday in Korea, but what I can confirm is that it is not Friday anywhere. So that was definitely a bit of an odd move on YG Entertainment's part, because the only releases I tend to see on Mondays and or Sundays, depending on where you are in the world, is when it's like a B-side. You know what I mean? Like it comes out at like 10 or 11 a.m. and it's like you didn't know it was gonna come out, but it's a surprise that it came out, even though it was kind of announced. But it's such a random time that it kind of flew under the radar. But anyway, the second criticism I guess that people have is that the visual direction of Baby Monster is ultimately uninspired, as a lot of people are bringing up comparisons to BLACKPINK and 21. I, for one, can't believe people have the audacity to bring BLACKPINK and 21 into this. My Blink Jack heart is just fluttering right now, and you guys know that this channel loves comparisons. We thrive on similarities. It's not always bad. And you know what? I think inevitably the moment Baby Monster was even conceived, it was even announced, people were going to compare them to their seniors. It's inevitable. You are always going to compare a group to their seniors. When TXT debuted, who were they compared to? I was gonna say when Twice debuted, but like it was kind of different, wasn't it? You are always going to have these comparisons, and they're not always bad because, you know, these groups are super popular at the end of the day. You hope at least for some of those same elements that you fell in love with before to be present. But let's take a look. Baby Monster's long-awaited debut falls flat, and the caption says so corny. So the first thing people are pointing out is that the music video just feels very YG. Now you might think, oh, it just means that YG has a very recognizable style, but a lot of people are saying that it's quite uninspired, even bringing it back to 21. So let's look at some of these screenshots. So the music featured large, glamorous sets and extravagant props that the label has become famous for, right? Notably white backgrounds. I don't know why YG is obsessed with white backgrounds these days. I did manage to find some 21 music videos with kind of white backgrounds, but it wasn't super a thing back then that I can remember, at least. SM was known for like the pearly white, you know, cheese grater-esque backgrounds, but that's a conversation for another day. So here we have it. Look at the screenshots, you know, definitely screams YG. So there was a post titled YG Entertainment's music video cliches in 3 generations that apparently went viral. So here we have some screenshots of 21's music videos, and then of course BLACKPINK music videos. So of course the images are trying to show that the music videos are quite similar. The author then stated how the visuals seem to not have changed over the past decade. I can guarantee you, give me an hour, I can find way more similar screenshots, I'm just saying, and I have. Keep watching and you'll see. I was literally there this morning, like downloading every single music video I could think of and finding the similarities. Guys, YG has been doing this for a long time. But I digress. Here's what some K netizens think of this. They haven't changed at all. This is seriously corny. Kimchi jjigae, doenjang jjigae, YG, they're all similar. YG is the only label that you can literally envision a Sonbae artist singing their songs. The songs are all the same. It isn't just their vocal techniques. I think they used the least amount of money for Baby Monster. Seeing it like this, they really haven't changed at all. So corny. Do you know what's actually kind of funny though? I've heard some people say that like every other company except for YG have such diversity when it comes to the concepts that their groups do and their sound. And like, I feel like JYP maybe is the only one. Like out of the big, okay. Oh, this complicates things with HYBE. If we think back to just the big 3, I feel like JYP is quite maybe more diverse with that stuff. But if we look at SM, like their songs do sound very similar. They have a typical SM sound, just like YG have a typical YG sound. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a typical YG sound. That's what attracts people to these companies. That's why you have these SM stands, because you have the SM vocal editing, the singing in unison, you know, you have those distinct elements that make SM sounds like SM sounds. Just like you'd come to expect YG to have a specific sound, right? So you know what we have to do now. You don't look at me like that. I have gotten into so much trouble in the past for comparing BLACKPINK and 2NE1. We don't need to bring that up again. But this is honestly nothing new, as I've mentioned before. YG, listen, do you want to know the real reason that BLACKPINK were literally named the Queens of Sustainability by the royal family? Fact check that if you want. The real reason was not because of their work for COP26 or whatever the hell. It's because YG loves to reduce, reuse, and recycle, reducing the amount of comebacks, recycling concepts over and over again, and recycling sets. So let's go through together every similarity that I've seen people bring up, and also share some of my own as well, to see if this is really an issue or if people are overreacting. Here's the thing, if it is a YG music video, you know there are going to be vehicles. YG loves vehicles, and this is not just for their girl groups. If I had to look at every YG music video, it would be so long, just off the top of my head. Taeyang and Tableau's Tomorrow, Big Bang's Haru, like you'll find it, trust me. So this is something historically that YG loves to do. If you think of SM's music videos and their, you know, very white backgrounds, which YG has come to adopt, I don't know why, but YG historically loves cars in their music videos, and we're going to see this a lot. For sure with BLACKPINK, of course with 2NE1, and I'm predicting as BABYMONSTER continues to release music videos, hopefully plural, you know, might take a couple of years for us to be able to really see this once they release their second music video 5 years from now. Okay, enough with the jokes. And actually this particular scene with what I want to call like a monster truck, I know it's not a monster truck, but it's a non-standard vehicle, really reminds me of Jennie's scene in Pink Venom, where she's also rapping in front of a non-standard vehicle. Then of course there's two particular scenes that we could reference back to Any Pink, the more white background, so I feel that's a bit more BLACKPINK, most notably for Shutdown, though it's not typically BLACKPINK or typically YG in any sense of the way. But again, this feels a little more SM coded. But I do have a 2NE1 example. But we do have these back alley type dance scenes as well, which we can find in all three girl groups. Another super interesting commonality that we can find in all three girl groups' music videos, at least once, is a megaphone. So again, in 2NE1's Can't Nobody, in BLACKPINK's Whistle, and now in BABYMONSTER's Batter Up. The similarities, of course, do not stop there. I mean, we also have the typical singing in unison at the end of a song, which is very YG. I honestly would have been so shocked if Baebon didn't do this. But here are some more examples. Of course, the icy scenes with Jennie and How You Like That. But I also noticed this bus scene that reminded me of Lisa in Playing with Fire. Obviously, aren't exactly the same, but just reminiscent of each other. Some people have said that this scene with Farita reminds them of Jennie's scene in How You Like That. And you know, I actually thought of that as well when I was watching it, but if you put them side by side, they're not, you know, you wouldn't really mistake them from each other. Otherwise, I promise YG since the beginning of time has just been recycling a lot of their sets, a lot of their concepts, a lot of like very striking scenes, from scenes that either just remind you of another scene, from scenes that straight up just seem like they're copy pasted. So yes, YG has been doing this for a really long time now, but why do we draw the line now? I think historically YG has had some beautiful music videos. If we think back to 2NE1's Missing You, it's such an emotional music video, or if you think to specific scenes that are just absolutely gorgeous, like Just a Sin and Kill This Love. Even if we had scenes that were basically copies of other scenes or scenes that kind of repeated themselves, I feel like YG made up for it in some capacity. But for BABYMONSTER's music video in particular, specifically, it is kind of like there's nothing like to wow you, because the beautiful icy scene really reminds us of BLACKPINK, or any other scene that might wow us is automatically reminiscent of something else. And actually it seems that this has been complained about in an online community, allegedly by some YG employees, but again, allegedly. So here we have it. Did Yan Hyun-suk botch Baby Monster's debut music video? Then again, we have all of the comparisons here. So there's this app called Blind, which is a South Korean workplace community app for verified employees. And it seems that someone from YG Entertainment has, expressed their frustration. So someone basically asked, what's going on with YG Entertainment? Is it because Yang's gone? The Baby Monster video is so old. Doesn't YG have a visual director? I can't believe what YG has become. Then we have a Naver insider who apparently said, well, if I had the skills, I'd work for Hybe instead too, with a YG insider saying, we never had a visual director to begin with. The F&F insider says, so then how come Baby Monster's music video feels extra outdated? I can't help but compare it to BLACKPINK's videos, with the YG insider basically saying it's Yan Hyun-suk's work. In response to some of the comments comparing the quality of Baby Monster's music video to that of BLACKPINK's, the anonymous YG Entertainment insider also added, all employees at YG Entertainment too want Yang Hyun-suk to step down. Then we have a bit more of a conversation. BLACKPINK is produced by Teddy. Baby Monster is produced by Yang. Oh man, 2NE1 and BLACKPINK were trendsetters. I don't get Baby Monster's video though. It's giving not for a minute. That's what producer Yang can offer. Bring Teddy back. Isn't that interesting? If this conversation is true, it goes back to what I said. Had they given Baby Monster a BLACKPINK song, like straight up, it's just a BLACKPINK song, of course they would have gotten hate because it would have been a Teddy beat job, but people would have eaten it up. Don't deny it. Let's see who produced this. The lyrics by Jared Lee, YG Asa, Taehyun-suk, Lee Chan-hyuk, Where the Noise, Big Tone. Teddy is nowhere here. Teddy's nowhere to be seen. That's what's missing. Teddy is literally YG. And you can all hate Teddy for repetitive beat jobs, but it works. It works. That's why YG has been able to be so consistent and recycling all these same concepts, all these same types of songs, because it was Teddy and because he knew what he was doing. So here's what some K-netizens are responding to this. Glad to know I wasn't the only one who thought it was tacky. I could tell. So I wasn't the only one who thought it was botched. I skipped on commenting on it, though, because I didn't want to sound like a malicious hater. Not gonna lie, things have stayed the same since BLACKPINK's shutdown. It's the 2NE1 vibe all over again. YG needs a new music video director. Anything and everything that Yang messes with has gone to absolute garbage. He should have been imprisoned. That would have saved the company money. Actually, I only ever liked BLACKPINK's debut music videos, and I realized they were produced by VM, which made so much sense. Teddy replicates a lot of his own works too, but at least his stuff is good enough to replicate. The Baby Monster music video is literally straight out of 2NE1. That's a little uncalled for. Wait, YG Entertainment doesn't have a visual director? Even the smallest of management companies have one. I know they have an art director, but they quit a long time ago. YG at this point seems to be the visual director. Like they mentioned in the comments, if something is worth replicating, by all means. I know I'll eat it up. You cannot sit here and tell me that BLACKPINK is the biggest girl group of our generation and they have horrible music. That's your opinion, sure, but it wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't be the biggest girl group if people didn't love their songs, if people weren't streaming their songs. There's qualities to it. There are things that people love about BLACKPINK's music. So it cannot by any means be all bad. I don't know. I find myself just like sitting alone in a corner being like, but I do like Teddy's repetitive beat jobs. And people are like, no, it's the worst thing that could have ever happened to music. Is it really? I'm batting up for Teddy. I don't know if that makes sense. It made sense in my head. So I'm super interested to hear what you have to say about this. Because of course people are saying like, it's so reminiscent, but there are very much scenes that I think are quite similar. And I don't think it's anything new. And there's two ways you can really see this, because there are some companies that do the same things over and over again, but it's like it's part of their storyline. It's more accepted, I would say, in comparison to seeing it as something repetitive and unoriginal. So I'd love to know where you stand on that. Because I could also bring like Big Bang into this as well. I wasn't really there for Icon and Winner, so I can't speak to that. But do you think it's surprising YG hasn't been called out sooner for this? Do you think it's actually not really a big deal and companies tend to do this? Let me know your thoughts as we move on to the sound. On top of people getting seemingly tired of YG's uninspiring visual storytelling, which again, just to play devil's advocate, why is it okay for SM to have Kwangya and kind of like force all their artists into Kwangya, though it is a very beautiful place? Why can't YG have a storyline even though it's literally just white backgrounds and filled with cars? Why is SM the only one allowed to have their own world? It's just a thought, don't crucify me. I digress. I've seen a lot of people not only compare the music videos, but the sound to 2NE1 and BLACKPINK. Like, Batter Up was just a regurgitation of things we've heard before. In fact, a lot of people are comparing it to Lisa's Money, actually. Certified Freak. 70. Why does it remind me of Cardi B, though? Definitely the trumpets, right? On top of it sounding like Lisa's Money, at least the trumpets, brass instrumentals, I don't even know. It does remind me of Treasure's Bona Bona, and I've heard a lot of people say that as well. Which, on that note, the music video for Bona Bona seems recycled too from like BLACKPINK music videos as well. It's very reminiscent. So I'm gonna be honest, because again, I've seen a lot of other people say like, oh, this is just like another 2NE1 song, this is another BLACKPINK song, and I don't really see it. In fact, I think the reason there's so much criticism is because it doesn't sound enough like a 2NE1 or BLACKPINK song, and here's my reasoning, okay? These are just my initial thoughts. Again, please, let's try to keep it civil, even though this is K-pop. But I know people are gonna support BABYMONSTER. These are just my initial thoughts. Maybe at the end of the day, I'll be streaming it. Who knows? But I think a lot of the criticism comes from the fact that it's like YG adjacent. This feels oddly un-YG to me. Here's the thing, I think there'd be less criticism, though still a ton of criticism, had they literally just given BABYMONSTER a BLACKPINK song. Give them an exact copy of a BLACKPINK song, or a song that BLACKPINK would have released but isn't releasing because, you know, they're chatting about contract renewals, who knows. I'm really not seeing what people are talking about because it's reminiscent of those groups but not close enough. So that kind of does throw us off a little bit and leaves people feeling confused because it's like, it sounds like a YG song, but it's not giving that energy of a YG song. Again, if they were just given straight up a BLACKPINK or 2NE1 song, people would be like, oh, it's so repetitive, but you know people would eat it up. But because it's a little kid's boppy, Batter Up is in this kind of weird in-between, where YG is trying to appeal to this new K-pop audience, because it's 2NE-Pink-esque, so it ends up feeling a little uncanny. It feels a little different for YG. And you know what? Let's talk about that, because I do think this is the evolution of YG. We're complaining that YG is doing the same things over and over again, but I think this is YG's version of adapting with the times. Now, to be fair, I did predict that BABYMONSTER would do the same girl crush concept that BLACKPINK did, that 2NE1 did. So I definitely predicted that BABYMONSTER would just do another girl crush concept, but I do have to give it to YG for attempting to adapt. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yes, it's girl crush, yes, it's similar, but I do think it's targeted to a younger audience. It clearly seems targeted to a younger audience to me when I was reading the lyrics, when I was listening to it, when I was watching it. It felt a lot younger than they had previously done with their two other girl groups. And you can say, yes, obviously given the members' ages, like I totally get that, but like, you know, Minzy was also underage in 2NE1 and she was still doing these more mature concepts. Not defending anything these companies do at the end of the day. I'm just saying that I've seen a general trend of K-pop targeting teens more and more. Second gen targeted everyone, teens, adults, but coming into 5th gen K-pop, it does feel like there's way more of a concentration on teens. There's a lot less swearing, a lot more modest clothing. So this to me is YG adapting to the newer times, even though it doesn't feel like it. But that is not it for the BABYMONSTER debut criticism. It seems a lot of people are feeling Ahyeon's absence from the group. Now, this can be a little rude, to be honest, but let's look into it. Netizens claim BABYMONSTER is missing a key ingredient for success, and that key ingredient seems to be star quality. Now, I didn't really follow the group pre-debut all that much. I don't think Ahyeon is the only talented one, the only one with star quality, but here's what some K-netizens think. First and foremost, there are no eye-catching members. Who is the main? The music video and the styling is so corny. There is no member that just pops out at you. There's no member that has that it factor. Nothing about this group blows me away, not their music video, dance, or outfits. I don't know what the group is trying to represent. It's too bad they don't have a member that catches your eye. Now, of course, this is in reference to Ahyeon, who didn't debut with the group. A lot of people were referring to as the reincarnation of Garam of Le Seraphim. Now, this article goes on to say that considering some of K-pop's biggest stars are women and that each successful group is anchored by 2 or more superstars. Now, by superstars, I think they're trying to mean like a visual of the group, because I think there's no doubt that all of them are talented, right? We've seen their talent, but I think this is in reference to visual. So we have Ives, Wonyoung, of course, and Yujin, aespa's Winter, and Karina, all the members of New Jeans. So BABYMONSTER will have to change the sentiment to succeed. What do you think about that criticism? Because to me, it just seems like they're saying they lost their visual and now we have no interest anymore. I don't know. Oh my God, they really are like 21. Now, more on Ahyeon, because there's a rumor that she's going to Kpop Entertainment. Now, of course, this is just a rumor. Take that with a grain of salt. Well, it's a rumor. Don't take anything with a grain of salt. It's just a rumor. There's literally nothing backing this up as of now. So apparently Ahyeon was seen going to Kpop in the middle of the night. I don't know where this comes from. Now, of course, her future in the group is speculative, right? We did have YG say she might join the group a little bit later, that she's not debuting with the group, but she might join later. But a lot of people saying that probably might just never join them again. We don't know at this point. So where does this come from? I don't know. So here's what some netizens are saying about that rumor. When she has YG right there, who, where, Kpop? Did they offer her more money? Seriously, it'd be hilarious if she actually ended up there. This reminds me of Dio going to Kpop. Why Kpop? Do they even have a debut unit for a girl group? Aren't they preparing for a boy group's debut? She was able to debut soon with YG, but she would rather go to a place where she doesn't know when she'll debut, and I can't believe she'd pick Kpop out of all places. And Kpop can't even manage Lightsum, right? Kpop, they don't even plan to have a next girl group, no? Seriously, if this was true, it would make no sense. Kpop's idols are all being carried by a Chun So-yeon, though. Again, it's just a rumor, though it would be kind of like she's pulling a Ahyeon. So here's what some K-netizens think of the debut in general, and then we'll finish off with what you guys thought of it. Were my expectations too high? The music video looks like it was released in 2009. The song kind of sounds old. If they hadn't debuted as YG's first girl group in 7 years, no one would have cared for the song and music video. Female version of Treasure. Why does it sound like a Treasure song? This does not live up to my expectations. Except for the chorus part, the song is truly underwhelming. BLACKPINK were the legends. The song is pretty good. Okay, but this comment, the rap part sounds like WAP. Okay, every time I listen to battle rap, I start singing Cardi B in some shape or form. Either Money or WAP. Let's take a look. Better up. Bada bing, bada boom, boom, boom. Certified free. Okay, let's go to the rap part. I'm not recognizing anything. Like the background, right? Because it's the intro that's reminding me that maybe that's what they mean. But anyways, I asked you guys on my community tab, what do you think of BABYMONSTER's debut with Batter Up? So let's check out some of these comments. It's a typical YG song to the point it feels uninspired. I don't exactly put them on the map of the competitive 4th, 5th gen girl groups. It doesn't set them apart. It doesn't show their talents properly. It's just there. Made in a lab for YG stands to enjoy and for everyone else to roll their eyes at YG's inability to even accidentally create something that doesn't fit their tired status quo that's existed for the past 15 years. Everything about this comeback was mid. There were no standout factors that made them unique. Their styling, choreography, and sound was very 2016-2018. I also noticed this concept doesn't really fit them either. Like, they're smiling when they're supposed to be giving girl crush, and them being so young doesn't help either. I honestly don't see this song competing with any of the top 4th or 5th generation girl group songs. You know, that is an interesting point, like, because I was mentioning before that this feels YG adjacent to me. Like, it really does. It 1000% feels like girl crush light, which I guess is YG again adapting to 4th and 5th gen times. This is their version of 5th gen boring core, I guess, even though it's still girl crush and not, you get what I mean. But to me, I remember one of the comments we read, it says it's like the female version of Treasure, and to me Treasure felt very YG adjacent. Like, there's some songs where you're like, oh, this feels quite like Big Bang, but it's not that YG feeling wholeheartedly. Sometimes it is. And again, sometimes it is, but for the majority of their songs that I've heard, it's so YG adjacent again. So thinking about that now, I think it actually is quite expected of YG to give us something like this. Everything about this comeback was mid. There were no standout factors that made them unique. Their styling, oh, I already read that. The pre-chorus and rap parts were the most satisfying and iconic parts of the song. The way Ruka and Asa rap just made me want to busy it down until my back breaks. One who surprisingly caught my eye was... Who is that? Is that a member? I've never heard Rami before. And I don't know how to explain it specifically, but the way she sings is with the right mix between attitude and elegance, if that makes sense. Overall, it was a pretty debut song, like 7 or 8 out of 10. I don't remember someone named... Oh, Haram. Okay, I get it now. She's changed her stage name. I'm like, who the hell is that? This is the most YG song and music video to ever YG in the history of YG. It went from iconic to repetitive. YG needs to learn how to produce something new and fresh. It feels really rushed, but honestly, it was a pretty solid debut. Loved the pre-chorus rap, though, as this part did remind me of BP and the iconic YG party ending. The only thing for me was that the music video seemed pretty cheap for such an important debut, and also, there were no other songs. The girls need more opportunities to showcase their talents ASAP. It's definitely very YG sounding. It's not my cup of tea personally, but it's definitely not bad, and I think a lot of people would like it. It was okay. This is exactly what I was expecting. I just YG would have went with a different concept for BABYMONSTER. The rap and Rami's vocals definitely carried the song for me. It's very YG. Whether people think it's great or uninspired depends on how much they like YG's style. For me, it could have used a refresh in 2023. Regarding the girls themselves, Asa is impressive, and Ruka looks the part in a way that is honestly kind of mind-blowing. The vocalists surprised me with how much charisma they have on screen, but it's missing a center. Hope Ahyeon makes it. Makes me wonder because suddenly it's like they're debuting with a digital single, and what people are saying is quite a cheap-looking music video. So I do really wonder about Ahyeon and her maybe re-entrance into the group because of these factors, or if this is just YG being YG. I was expecting a lot more considering the lineup is insanely talented, but I was honestly disappointed. The song isn't bad, don't get me wrong. The rap section is fire, and Rami is serving the vocals. And Rami is I'm like, is it Rami? Harami? And Rami is serving with the vocals, but I would expect a better debut song coming from them. This feels like it should be more of a B-side on an album than a title track. We'll listen again though. It's really good in my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot. The pre-chorus and the rap are the best parts. The line distribution was also really fair, not what I expected. It was definitely a Chiquita era and we're here for it, but it seems that YG is pushing Chiquita more than the other members. We're staying in dance outro purgatory with this one. Let's rock, let's take it to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. So that is basically it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me on this little roller coaster that is BABYMONSTER's debut. I would love to know your thoughts, what you think of this debut. If you actually think it is uninspired and too similar to what YG has been doing the past 14 years, or if you think it is a step in a more innovative direction for YG Entertainment. I'd love to know all of your thoughts in the comments below. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys in another video. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!